Daddy. This is the man of the champions, Bill Alfonso, giving a shout out to
Something Else.
Something Else, Daddy.
This is Nickel Matan, Great Warrior Wolf, and you are listening to Something Else.
I'm Tony Cini, and you're listening to Something Else.
Hey everybody, it's Rich Palladino, the voice of New England, and you are listening to Something Else with Arya.
Welcome to episode number 243 of Something Else. Feast your ear holes on this week's episode as we take a look at Mid-South Wrestling and World Class Championship Wrestling from November the 3rd, 1984. My name is Arya, and joining me as always is the Moop Spapple to my Izzy. It's Trae. Trae,
Hey.
How the hell you doing today?
Hey, what's happening, Moop Spaffle?
I thought I would pop you by
You
breaking up the
did.
Moop Spapple.
You
Yes.
did.
Yeah.
'Cause you can't spell Moop Spaffle without pop.
Okay, then. So, for those of you who are not hacking into Trae and I's Facebook messages, first of all, thank you. Secondly, um, so earlier today when I was at work, somebody called me Izzy. Now I said my name. I gave my actual Arya name, and they called me Izzy at the end of the call. And so I was telling this to Trae, and Trae said, I said something like, that's the furthest away from my real name that somebody has ever called me. And he said, I'm going to call you Moop Spapple from now on. And I did ask, and we'll see if we get a different answer on the air here. I did ask, where the hell did that come from? And he just told me from the mind that gave you glub.
That's
Trae,
the
is there
best
anything
answer.
behind Moop Spapple?
That's the best answer that I have for you. From the mind that brought
Okay.
you glove.
It wasn't something that you saw on the internet or anything, or on a television program?
I mean, our brains just process random stimuli in unusual ways, so it's just a
Yes.
word that it looks funny, and I feel like it has your aura, which is kind of like a dark purple.
I take that as a compliment. I think if I hadn't already legally changed my name, I would have to consider Moop Spapple as my middle name. In case my friends didn't think I was weird enough.
Oh, you're plenty weird.
Oh, thank you. That's the nicest thing you've said to me in the last 30 seconds. You know who would probably name their child Moop Spapple? Someone who would go on television and say this.
How you say? We will eat your land.
Is the Barbarian saying that they will eat your lunch.
Bob Marion?
Yes, the ball bearing Bob Marion, if you will. I don't know what made me think about this, but I was thinking about Reeser, and I was thinking about how he was the only person that ever referred to Colonel Buck Rubley as Buckley Christopher George Rubley III. And so I started to look up poor Colonel Buck Rubley, and actually next week will be 2 years since he left Mid-South.
Mm.
Yes.
Sorry
I
that
can't
missed
say
him.
he was not like this great wrestler or anything. I mean, he wasn't bad, but like he wasn't anything memorable. Like the most memorable thing about him was the fact that Reeser kept calling him Buckley Christopher George Robley III.
I did a weird
And-
thing this week, and I watched our shows like earlier today, and then right before we recorded, I watched Smoky Mountain, and my mind is in a weird place right now because of it.
So I have not yet watched Smoky Mountain. We're going to have a discussion about that on Thursday, not just because we're going to be talking about Smoky Mountain, but because the files are mislabeled for some reason, and
Yes.
Yeah, I had to I spoiled the winner of the Beat the Champ match this week by watching the wrong episode, or watching the intro of the wrong episode anyway. Of course, Celeste has no idea how many times you have to win the $5,000, but that's a debate for next week, actually.
You told me about like the episode being missing, and I just kind of registered it, and then when I went to start the episode, I was like, oh, it's because I knew there was one more taping from Loudon, Tennessee.
Yeah.
And the episode that I started was from Warrensville, South Carolina. And then,
honestly, the only reason... Go ahead.
So the episode that was labeled as for this week is for next week, and then the episode this week was just missing from presumably the same pack that you and I got those.
Yes, and I did check. There's a few different Smoky Mountain packs on XWT, and they all are missing the real July 9th episode. But thankfully, there's somebody on YouTube that has the real July 9th episode. So our vow to get to 200 episodes will be succeeded here.
I'm going to give you a warning. The one that's on YouTube, that I'm pretty sure is the one that you sent me. It's the WWE Network version, and it's weird.
Well, that might be the only thing we have, though.
I think so. And it makes sense that it would be, because it's kind of like a significant Thrill Seekers episode, which those are the only SMW ones up on the network.
Yeah. If you have a better version, let me know so I can watch it.
Yeah, it's also not as good a quality as that back. So yeah, if anybody out there has a proper original VHS rip of our this week's SNW episode, contact us.
July 9th, 1994. And wait a second. Wait. I have to ask. The production isn't as good for this week's episode of Smoky Mountain. These shows that got ripped off the WWE Network.
It's not a very high quality rip.
Oh, God damn it. God damn it, person on YouTube.
Yeah.
Maybe I'll have to try to figure out how to rip things off the cock.
Hopefully that's the only missing episode.
I believe so. I was actually going through my Mid-South library, and we're pretty much good until the end of 85. It gets weird. There's a couple missing episodes at the end of the year, which is pretty, regular for the shit, because a lot of people never tape the best of or year in review episodes. But when we hit 86, that first few months before it becomes UWF, there's a decent amount of missing shit in there. But that's 1 year from now is our problem. By the way, I do want to give a shout out to our co-hostess with the co-mostess, Cyndi, who, as we are listening to this show, she's undergoing shoulder surgery. So best of wishes to her, and we will be here tomorrow because her and I taped tomorrow's episode last week. But she's going to be on the shelf for a little bit, which means that Trey's going to really, really hate me for at least 1 week. Actually, I already watched next week's episode. Next week's episode, in TNA parlance, is actually pretty good. So,
okay.
We'll see how you feel watching it. But having watched the first 70 or so episodes, next week is pretty good.
Okay, that's a relief.
At least the main event was, and the show starts slow but gets better as it goes on, which is always a good thing. And that actually reflects in my rating of next week, is that, it's better to have the show end on a high note than begin on the high note and go down from there.
That's true. That's very logical.
So what the hell? Let's dive into Mid-South Wrestling, November 3rd, 1984, the first episodes of Mid-South and World Class after my birth. So I think we can all agree that they came out on a strong note on both shows this week. But let's go to the intro here, and JR and Joel Watts have a special guest.
Hello again, everybody, and welcome to the #1 wrestling program in America, Mid-South Wrestling. My name is Jim Ross. For the next 60 minutes, Joel Watts and I will be calling all the action. Joel, we have a great program lined up for everyone here today.
No doubt about it. We've got a lot of great matches. We've got Dr. Death against the Italian Stallion, Gary Cordonelli, and Buddy Landell and Hacksaw Butch Reed against...
Let me tell you something. You all just talking on and on and on. Let's talk about champions. Think about me.
Well, I think that's very appropriate right now. Ernie Ladd, the new North American heavyweight champion, won that in very controversial fashion, I might add, here last week.
Look, let me tell you something, Mr. TV announcer. I know nothing about a controversial situation. All I know is when you go in the ring and win a match in the ring, you've won the match. I won me a championship in the ring. I told everybody I'm one of the smartest wrestlers. There's no doubt about it. Magnum P.A. is a younger man. He's probably a stronger man, but I'm an older man. I'm a smart man. You can say I'm the old man of wrestling. And what did I do? I went right in the ring and I proved it. I went fair and square under unassisted victory is what I call it. Now, whatever you call it, Mr. TV announcer, don't even bother me about it because I'm getting tired of you, too.
Well, I wouldn't even think about bothering you. Ernie Ladd is 6'9", over 300 pounds. But the way you won the championship, the folks could see exactly what happened. And as a matter of fact, at this point in time, ladies and gentlemen, let's show exactly what happened here last week when Ernie Ladd won the championship. You'll see it for yourself right now.
I think it's safe to say that Ernie Ladd is the real Big E. No offense to Etor, but yeah.
I bet Etor would love Ernie Ladd.
Oh, if Big E Langston is unaware of Big Ernie Ladd, somebody give that man some tapes. You know?
Yeah, surely he's got to. He just quickly got tired of listening to Joel Try and just started talking. I love it when heels call Ross Mr. TV announcer.
I just love that it's like Ernie can't be bothered to learn any of the announcers' names. He calls everyone Mr. TV announcer.
What does he look like, a bum seeker?
Nope, he does not. He looks like the champion. I actually had to laugh because Joel was stumbling over his words here, not very good at the intro. Like I just mentioned, I was going through some of my later tapes and organizing them here for the future, and I turned on the first UWF episode for March of '86, and Joel's doing commentary, and I didn't watch the show. I just watched the intro just to see how the video quality was. And Joel was just as bad in March of '86 as he is now in October of '84. Maybe if I watch the rest of the episode, like okay, he's getting better as an actual announcer. He just sucks with it on camera. Maybe I don't know. To be fair, but yeah, he still sucks doing on cameras.
I think it might be that Joel is never good. I hope I'm wrong. I hope I'm wrong.
I mean, there's a reason that, when Crockett hired everybody, Joel wasn't one of them.
I think that the mother's DNA came out very strong in the children.
I could be wrong, but didn't he work for Vince for a while on the production side?
Joel, I have no idea. I have no idea. I've never heard of anything that Joel did after Crockett bought out the UWF.
I could be wrong. I thought I heard something about him working for. I guess if I really wanted to be like Dave, I could say working for Titan back in '88. But they replay Ernie Ladd winning the Cummerbund last week, and I forget if I told you this. Did I tell you I threw up the picture of Ernie Ladd with the title on the F4W chat?
Yeah, you did.
Okay, well, Lance Storm responded that belt must be bigger than the Saudi Arabia belt because Ernie Ladd is huge and that thing is fucking gigantic on him. And I believe it.
I love that the bumper image was the same image from last week of the big cat holding up the belt with the big smile. Big cat, big belt, big smile.
It's a great image.
Yeah.
It really should be the whatchamacallit. It should be the bumper for every commercial break, but it should also be next season of WWE's Most Wanted Treasures. They go hunt down the Mid-South North American title, see if it is bigger than the Saudi Arabia belt.
That would be tremendous.
By the way, what was it? Big cat, big belt, big smile.
Yeah.
All right, we have an episode title, ladies and gentlemen.
Yay.
And so yes, Ernie knows nothing about no controversial situation. Magnum is younger, but you see, Ernie is older. That was just point there before we saw the replay of last week. And then we're going to go back to the desk where Ernie Ladd is still talking to Mr. TV announcer.
Ladd, I know you're an educated man at Grambling University, but controversial has to be the term in that match.
Look, I told you once, don't be talking all out the side of your neck. I won it the only way I know how. It's no question about it. When you get a certain age in life, you're supposed to have a certain amount of smarts. This is 27 pounds of pure gold and silver. And who is the possessor of it, Mr. TV announcer?
Well,
when I said 27 pounds of gold and silver, who is the champion?
Ernie Ladd is the North American champion, ladies and gentlemen. Coming up in just a little while, you're going to see Ted DiBiase against Master G. You'll also see Magnum TA, the former North American heavyweight champion, go against the missing link. Also, superstar Bill Dundee takes on exotic Adrian Street for the TV title. Mr. Ladd, thank you for your comments.
It's always great to have your champion on this show to add class. I am known as class personified, and this means a lot of money and a lot of friends, and don't you forget it.
Fine. And we'll be back, ladies and
who doesn't love Ernie Ladd? If you don't love Ernie Ladd, there's something wrong with you people.
Very, very agree.
Yes. And 27 pounds. And I know, pardon me, obviously here in wrestling, we're prone to exaggeration. I would say that's pretty goddamn close to the real number.
Yeah. Yeah.
All right. So after commercial, we came back and got a replay of the bloody Jim Duggan promo from last week. And it turns out Joel is the one who found him in a ditch outside. I still would have loved to see that.
Yes.
Joel running outside, finding Jim Duggan laying flat in some dirt and mud.
It should be like it should be like the beginning of an episode of Law and Order, where there's just like some fucking dork going about his day and finding a body, but it's Joel finding a bloody Jim Duggan.
Oh God, yes. Joel's running late and he's like, oh man, my dad's gonna be so pissed off. Hey, isn't that Jim Duggan? Oh Lord. So we go to the ring for the Dr. Death and Hacksaw Duggan helmets holder, Dr. Death Steve Williams versus Gary Cortinelli, which is the name that I don't think I've ever heard before. Because this is somewhat famous jobber from WWF days, the Italian Stallion, who famously once held the Guinness Book of World Records for the fastest time eating a pound of spaghetti. Yes.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
I did not know that. That's amazing.
Can you imagine how much practice you have to have in order to break the world record for eating a pound of spaghetti the fastest?
So what you're saying is he ate a lot of pounds of spaghetti.
Yes, he did. And when I was a kid and I saw that, my immediate thought was, regular spaghetti. But like in my head, I'm like, I wonder what it was. Was maybe a pound of angel hair, a pound of ziti, maybe, some elbow macaroni, or was it all the same pasta? Like maybe it was like a mixture of stuff.
Oh yeah, well you said pound of spaghetti, so I assumed it was actually a pound of spaghetti. Was it a pound of spaghetti or a pound of pasta?
Yeah, it always was a pound of spaghetti. At least that I always read. So that automatically makes you think it's either the regular spaghetti or at worst it's angel hair.
I cannot cook pasta. I don't know what it is.
It's all good. Make the wife do it. Make Mrs. Trae do it.
Yeah, I don't know. I've learned how to cook a lot more, but pasta I end up turning it to like fucking just gunk.
So you're always overcooking it.
Yeah.
Well, you got to be vigilant. That's all I can say. And I once had a friend who thought that if you normally cook 1 pound of regular spaghetti, that means you need to cook 2 pounds of angel hair to make up for it.
What?
he had a lot of leftover spaghetti. He'll just say that.
Did you ever watch I Love Lucy?
It's been a while, but yes.
Okay, fucking one of the greatest comedy shows of all time. And there is an episode that is most famous because it's the episode where they're doing the assembly line at the candy factory, right? And it's going too fast as she's trying to eat all the chocolates. But the same episode, because the plot of that episode is that the wives and the husbands switch places, so the wives go to get jobs and the husbands are going to run the household. The best part of that episode is Fred and Ricky are deciding what they're going to make for dinner. That they're just going to make one dinner for everybody to make it simpler. So Ricky decides he's going to make arroz con pollo, chicken and rice. Great, delicious, right? And they're trying to figure out how much rice to make. And Ricky goes, well, how much rice to make? And Fred goes, I don't know. People like that stuff. And Ricky goes, well, I was thinking a pound per person. So they make 4 pounds of rice and it explodes all over the kitchen and it's fucking hilarious.
I don't know how I don't remember that part of it. I mean, everyone remembers the conveyor belt.
Yeah.
But oh Lord. Now I need to go hunt down some I Love Lucy after the show.
I can send you the episode. I have the DVDs ripped.
By the way, all of Gary Cortinelli's spaghetti practice got in the way of wrestling practice as Doc won with the Oklahoma Stampede.
It takes a good man to beat the Italian Stallion, but it doesn't take him long.
Nope. So after commercial, it is Hercules Hernandez versus Thomas Ivy. And of course, if we have Hercules involved, we have Mr. Jim Cornette, who has something to say.
Before I introduce this man, first, to Skandor Akbar. I know what you want because I have it. So don't be getting Buddy Landell to do your dirty work for you. Come and talk to me personally. To the Rock and Roll Express. You made fools out of yourselves on national TV with a little help from us. Now I know why they put crazy people in straitjackets. But I'm telling you one thing. Regardless of whether we made a mongoloid idiot out of Robert Gibson or not, regardless of whether we made a blithering idiot out of Rick Morton, not to mention a short midget cripple, get yourselves together, because the $25,000 offer still stands. All you gotta do is dream up a match, get some stipulations, and you've got a title match. Anything you want for $25,000 if you're not too embarrassed or scared. And now, it's time for this man to go to school. Here's the professor, 268 pounds of unleashed fury, Hercules Hernandez.
All right, so now Jim Cornette is getting involved in the mysterious thing that General Skandor Akbar and Buddy Landell are getting involved in.
I was so confused. I'm still confused. I don't exactly understand what Akbar's plot is. He wants Cornette. He wants something from Cornette, but he sent Buddy Landell to talk to Cornette. And Cornette is mad.
Is it from Cornette? I didn't get the impression. I thought Cornette says he has it, I guess. And are we supposed to believe Cornette is telling the truth?
Oh. It's got to be the coal miner's glove, right?
I was not even thinking that. Because it legitimately, I did not think that Cornette was telling the truth. That, he has whatever it is that Akbar wants.
Well, Akbar is with Duggan, or Akbar is with DiBiase, who is feuding with Duggan now. And the last time that we saw the coal miner's glove was when Hercules had it. Yeah.
Yeah. I forget, who did Hercules buy it from?
Crusher Darso.
That's right. So Hercules, do not sell that coal miner's glove because it sends you out of the territory. And he reiterates the $25,000 challenge to the Rock and Roll Express that they can have any kind of match they want. And hey, new jobber alert, Thomas Ivy. And it turns out that somewhat unknown jobber Tom Ivy, who held 0 Guinness Book of World records for eating a pound of spaghetti. All that wrestling practice got in the way of his spaghetti eating practice as Hercules won with the Shininomaki. And yes, that's the last time I'm going to make that joke during this episode.
At least the Shinnomaki looks like less shitty now.
Hey,
You
when you do
remember?
a move for 2 months, excuse me, you tend to get better at that.
Do you remember the period when like Hercules and Prince Karis were both doing it, and Prince Karis's was less shitty?
Yes. When Prince Karis is doing a move better than you have to rethink things.
Yeah.
You know, this might explain why they gave Hercules the full Nelson in the build to WrestleMania 3, not just to feud with Billy Jerk Haynes, but because he didn't know a better move.
You know,
And it's hard to fuck up the full Nelson.
Bobby Heenan called it. That Billy Haynes was a jerk.
Oh Lord. I just started, well, just about a year in at this point, a new TEW scenario from 1986, and Billy Jack Haynes twice in a month has been arrested for drug possession. I was actually I kept him for a while because I remember in one of the old TEW games, if you got in legal trouble, they sent you to prison. Like one time, Bam Bam Bigelow got sent to prison while he was one of my top guys for 15 years. And so I was waiting to see if Billy Jack was going to be sent to prison, and he never has. So maybe that's something still to come in the game, and keep an eye out on it.
Oh, I didn't. I've never seen that. That's phenomenal.
Oh yeah, it was whatever the one before TW 2020 was. That one had Bam Bam Bigelow going to jail for 15 years. I did actually try because I'm like, you know what? I mean, he's gonna be my Ken Patera. I'm gonna keep paying him while he's in jail, and when he comes out, bring him in. And then when his contract was up, I tried re-signing him, and I got the "you can't sign someone while they're in jail" thing. I'm like, oh, damn. Yeah. Any thoughts about Hercules Hernandez versus Thomas Ivy?
No, I thought we were gonna get past that.
Apparently, Thomas Ivy's been on this show before.
Really?
Yeah. For now, let's go to a promo with General Skandor Akbar and Nature Boy Buddy Landel.
Wrestling fans, we have in the ring now with us the all-rich Skandor Akbar and California Nature Boy Buddy Landel, and they say they have a very important message.
First of all, Landel, where are the results that you promised me? I want you to remember who you're dealing with, the man, the general. I expect results, and I expect you to honor your commitment, young man.
Mr. Akbar, I'd just like to say that, some of my friends say that Arab money is, some of that oil money is blood money. Now, don't get me wrong. I would never say that, and I personally would never hold anything derogatory towards you or your country. But, you have paid me a considerable amount of cash, and that's all right and all that. But, where I come from, stuff up front talks, and I would, a little bit more incentive what I need. I need a little bit more incentive, if you know what I'm talking about.
I clearly understand what you're talking about, Landel.
I thought you would grease the palm if you know what I'm
Americans
talking.
are the same. I know you understand what solid gold Rolex watch valued at 10 to 12,000 American dollars, which means nothing to me, but it is yours on one condition. You deliver, and I want results next week, understood?
That's exactly what I'm talking about. That's right. Mr. Akbar, you have just given me an incentive to do what we have agreed to do upon. Thank you very much.
One more thing. It's quite evident in the Mid-South that the general, the boss man, is back. Ted DiBiase is back. The Rat Pack is back. And if there's any doubts in your minds, you can ask Hacksaw Duggan.
And now we'll go back to the desk with Joel Watts and Jim Ross.
All righty. So you wonder how much longer Buddy can hold off on getting some money out of Ack. Do you think Ack will live up to his word and make Buddy show results by next week?
And if you didn't have the incentive to do the job at the first price, why did you make the deal? I would not continue doing business with such a skeezy person.
Skandor Akbar is a terrible business person. We've seen on this show. He overpays for talent. I forget who it was a couple of years ago. He paid more for one wrestler than he's paid for anybody else ever, and that wrestler was in for like 2 TV tapings. Like, you were a shitty businessman, General Skandor Akbar.
Maybe that's why the territory finally fell out because like the oil economy in like Oklahoma went down. Maybe Akbar just left the territory and started or stopped spending stupid amounts of money.
That makes so much sense. That and I guess those negotiations with OPEC were not going that well.
Maybe Akbar finally spent all his money on like shit that he never got any return on.
I think he felt the oil drop more than Bill Watts did. Um, yeah, I was also thinking, what's going on with Buddy Landell and Mr. Beef? You know, this whole Akbar thing, they haven't brought in Butch Reed at all for this. That's why I was thinking maybe it has something to do with Butch, but Butch doesn't really have anything that, Akbar is going to want to take or buy, unless he wants to buy Butch Reed.
I don't know what Butch Reed is doing. Like he was kind of feuding with Master G, and then Master G injured Reed's leg, and Reed had knee surgery and was back immediately. But now Master G is feuding with Ted DiBiase.
And Butch learned his lesson. He doesn't want to have a knee injury anymore.
I guess so. Well, maybe. I don't know. Why is he still in the territory?
Turns out, when you wrestle somebody who uses the master lock, you tend to somehow get your knee injured a lot. Like Phoebe Richards injured his knee wrestling Chris Masters.
I thought, was that the same match where he had his face smashed?
Yes. It was not a good match for Stevie Richards.
No.
Speaking of Mr. Beef and Buddy Landell, Mr. Beef and Buddy Landell took on Steve Brinson and the Alabama Junior Heavyweight Champion Mike Jackson. Since both Brinson and Jackson have been on the show before, we know that neither of them held any kind of spaghetti-eating records. I promise that is really the last time I make that joke. I thought I only made it twice. I thought this was a good match. It showed off what an opportunist Budrow is. Reed had the match won, and Budrow insisted on tagging in so he could hit his twisting elbow for the win.
I don't think that I'd want to team with Buddy Landell, given what we've been shown about his character. We might be balls deep in a tag match when he decides that he's not going to wrestle anymore unless he gets 75% of the winner's purse instead of the 50% we agreed on.
And the problem with that is, negotiating during the match, he might lose and now be now be stuck with 50% of the loser's purse.
You can't trust this fellow.
No, you really can't. We're going to see him in Smoky Mountain in about not even a year. I think in like 6 months.
Ooh.
We're going to see how little you can trust him then. By the way, Trey, did you know the show Family Matters, of course, right?
Oh yeah, love Family Matters. My family were weekly TGIF viewers back in the day.
Me too. Family Matters, Boy Meets World, Sabrina the Teenage Witch,
Step by
Hanging
Step,
with Mr. Cooper,
Step
by Step, Clueless. In other news, I had no life growing up, so there's that. But did you know that the pilot for Family Matters used What a Wonderful World as its theme song and not the Family Matters theme song?
I did not know that.
I did not know that until recently, and I hunted it down on YouTube, and it's like, it doesn't look right. Like, I believe it because I read other places where it's like, that really is what the theme song was and whatnot. It was only for the pilot, and it's like, it just doesn't look right. It's the same intro, but with What a Wonderful World instead of As Days Go By. By the way, I did have this noted to bring this up. It wasn't just I was watching Buddy Landell and Butch Reed wrestle, and I'm like, man, what about Urkel? Let's talk about Urkel some more.
You remember the episode with the Bushwhackers?
Of course. And how it turns out they hate cops.
My mother got arrested by a cop last night. Why? They couldn't catch her till then.
Now they ended TJF and then brought it back a couple times, like in the mid 2000s. They had like Hope and Faith and 8 Simple Rules. Did you watch during that era?
No, I didn't see any of that. I only saw the glory days.
8 Simple Rules. I know everyone says it sucked after John Ritter left. After John Ritter died, and like it was different, but I didn't think it sucked after he died. Like,
did you ever watch this show Grounded for Life?
I think I watched a couple episodes, but not enough to really tell you much about it.
It was a good show. It was like in like the mid to late 2000s. There was like a block that came on like in the middle of the day on weekdays. It was like Boy Meets World, Family Matters, and Grounded for Life. And I got interested because I wanted to rewatch Boy Meets World and Family Matters, and this was before like everything was available on like streaming or whatever.
Yeah.
So I would watch them every day, and I would record them when I wasn't home, and I watched all through all of those.
Step by step, like I know it's a Brady Bunch ripoff, but hey, I liked it as a kid.
Yeah, me too.
Yeah. I love how we've gone down this rabbit hole, and yes, this is all totally my fault, by the way. Taking full responsibility for this one. Ted DiBiase with General Skandor Akbar versus Master G. Now, JR said we had 2 top main event wrestlers in the ring, and I don't know if I'd necessarily claim that Carl Fergie is a main event wrestler.
He was the king.
I mean, he was the first king to be on the show. And then we had like 3 of them in 2 weeks. So Butch Reed came to ringside and stood behind the guardrail to cheer DiBiase on. DiBiase went for the figure 4, but G kicked DiBiase away and sent him flying over the top rope for what should have been a disqualification, but it wasn't. G then punched Butch Reed, who was just minding his own business. So DiBiase, out of self-defense, knocked G the fuck out and then won with the figure 4. After the match, DiBiase was just trying to show G the proper way to apply the hold when biased Carl Fergie reversed the decision. No wonder he's not a top guy. And then TA and the Job Squad made the save.
Well, he's on the top of this situation.
I don't think he gave Ted DiBiase proper warning before reversing the decision.
Yes, he did. Come on.
You think he did?
He's a king. Kings don't just do things without... He has advisors and knights of the round table.
All right. So I'm going to play something. I don't know how long this is, and I don't know the quality of it, and I may have to edit it off because it may be a lot of copyrighted music. But my friend just sent this to me. It's called If Pitbull Worked in Customer Service. Let's go to Pitbull, now working in customer service. After it loads. In an hour. Should I press unmute?
Help yourself. Dale, yeah, I can absolutely help with that. Because when the world has one less problem, that means there's one less problem with the world. Okay, have you tried unplugging it and plugging it back in? Ah, Dale, okay. Oh, well, listen, I understand it's frustrating. You're going through a tough time. Believe me, been there, done that. But every day above ground is a great day. Remember that, Dale. That's not helping, Dale. Well, listen, I'm just a man trying to do my job. And when a man can't do his job, then the job does the man. You're even more confused now. Okay. Dale, I can get my manager on the line to help you out. But you see, when you work hard, you play hard, you become the manager. Yes, I am the manager. But let me tell you something. Being the manager, it ain't about managing your staff. It's about managing your life. Dale. Hello? Ah, Dale, he hung up.
Right. I think that, was the rule of comedy. It was so bad that it went on for so long that it became funny.
It was, that was a thing that you just played on the show.
Turns out that not all wins, ladies and gentlemen. Although, hey, it could be a loss, but at least it's not.
How much does that guy weigh?
500 pounds plus, Art. Well, that's not fair. The only fella only weighs half the amount.
We're not Art Donovan.
Darn. Art
We're still
Donovan.
alive.
He is?
Art Donovan.
Art
Yeah, Art
Donovan.
Donovan died like a decade ago.
Wait, so he's still alive, but he died like a decade ago?
No, I said unlike Art Donovan, we're still alive.
Oh, okay.
And you said really, and I'm like, yeah.
What do you think I am? A bum seeker?
Never stop being funny.
And that always makes me giggle.
All right, up next we had the popular Magnum TA versus Max with General Skandor Akbar, and I was pissed. I was fucking pissed because last week on this very show, I talked about how proud I was of Boyd Pierce for using Max's chosen name. But this week, that D-Gen's Boyd Pierce dead name Max.
Disgusting.
Yes. Max was so upset about this and the prior match result that he began headbutting the ring steps. The finish saw Akbar get on the apron to discuss his OPEC negotiations with Randy Anderson when Magnum TA gripped him up and then Max collided with Akbar and TA won with a belly-to-belly suplex.
Someday there's gonna be like in 5 or 10 years, we're just gonna be watching something and there's gonna be an entirely different listener, and we're just gonna call him Max, and nobody's gonna people are just gonna be really confused.
It's the missing link, ladies and gentlemen, the missing link. And the reason why we call him Max is because on this very program, like a year ago, General Skandor Akbar came out and told us his name was Max. And much like how Gary Hart is the only person that calls Bill Irwin Chauncey, General Skandor Akbar is the only person that calls him Max, but we are good, polite young people. We're going to call Max by his chosen name.
Exactly.
I always liked that he was the one person that Bobby Heenan hated. I mean, Heenan probably hated more than one person, but it's like Max was apparently living the gimmick a little too much.
I love Bobby Heenan. Like, my favorite, I forget the exact phrasing, but it was something about all of these old timey wrestling people are like, oh, it was so much better back in the day, and Bobby was like no, people used to try to fucking stab me and shit. It's better now.
Yep. I said that about a Cornette. It's like he's pissed that people aren't trying to stab and murder the wrestlers nowadays. It's like, you know what? I think everyone's happier for that. Plus, despite what that guy outside is thinking, plus, even if they wanted to bring knives and guns into the arena, you have to literally walk through a metal detector to get into the arena. You cannot bring knives and guns into arenas.
Yeah.
Although it makes me
because
think
of
of
woke.
Chris Rock. What was that?
You can't stab wrestlers anymore because of woke.
Yes. I was thinking about Chris Rock telling you, don't go into parties with metal detectors. Sure, it's safe inside. But what about all those people waiting outside with guns? They know you ain't got one.
I'm just going to tweet with no context. You can't stab heels anymore because of woke.
Oh my God. It's been a while since you've pissed off a bunch of people on Twitter. Well, while Trae pisses off his Twitter followers, we're going to go to television champion exotic Adrian Street with the always present Miss Linda versus superstar Billiam Dundee. Dundee has super and a star on his tights. This is how you know he's a superstar. Now, maybe wonder why Jose Lothario didn't have a sock on his tights. This way we'd all know his nickname. Now, we've mentioned this before, but it bears repeating every time he's on the television. Adrian Street is such a great prissy heel. He's such a priss, but you also know, no matter how gay he is, no matter how feminine he is, you would not get into a fight with him. The toughest motherfucker in that arena did not think for 1 second, I need to go take a swing at him, because they knew that gay sissy is going to kick your ass.
I would not fuck with Adrian Street. Like,
yeah.
You're going to end up with a thumb somewhere you don't want it.
There's a few places I don't want to thumb, and I don't want to test Adrian Street about that one. So what led to the finish was Dundee picked up Adrian for an airplane spin, and one of Street's legs hit referee Ronnie West. Miss Linda rolled in and counted 3. Dundee thought this was real, so he got up in time to get hairsprayed in the eyes, and Street won to retain the television championship.
By the way, convoluted ref bump. Like Rod West had to work to get in the way there.
By the way, fighting champion. We've seen more title defenses by Adrian Street in his one title reign than we saw it with either Crusher Darsow or Terry Taylor put together during their title reigns.
Well, Adrian Street is not a little bitch or a stooge. He may be a D-gen.
I don't know. Can you be Adrian Street and be a D-gens?
Well, it's just there's a lot of different flavors of D-gens, and he is definitely one of them.
Okay. And I guess as we heard last week, Terry Taylor's in the middle of his 4-week injury absence. What a pussy. And ultimately, I thought this was another good episode of Mid-South this week.
Butch Reed had knee surgery, and he was gone like a week.
Yeah. He was literally on TV, drugged up to hell, cutting promos about how he's going to go get in shape to go come back and kick Master G's ass. And Terry Taylor, there's no excuse. Are his vocal cords being removed? He could be on fucking TV doing a promo.
The Guerreros are going to be here next week.
Yes. I didn't write it down. Is it Chavo and Hector?
I assume so. They said, and I just wrote the Guerreros, so I don't remember.
I don't know why, but I was falling asleep watching this show. I had to go back and rewatch the finish of this match. I don't get it, but it's like my body did not want to stay awake for Adrian Street versus Bill Dundee for some weird reason. However, it did want to stay awake for what followed Mid-South this week. World Class, November 3rd, 1984. And we always talk about how sometimes we don't really know when a show gets taped because, they're not really divided up well on Cage Match. But this one I found quite easily. World Class, November 3rd, 1984, taped October 27th, 1984, at the Cotton Bowl in Dallas, Texas, before 12,000 people. And this was, in fact, the first Cotton Bowl Extravaganza, and they would do this until 1988. Now, did I tell you about how these shows do the next few years?
Were there really 12,000 people?
I believe it. I mean, I read that online, and so it could be a lie, but it looks about 12,000.
Those bleachers,
a big stadium.
Those bleachers looked empty.
Well, I mean, it's a big stadium. You got to keep that in mind.
Yeah, I'm thinking how many was that place set up for football?
Well, it's still operational to this day, and we'll talk about that a little bit later.
Oh, the Cotton Bowl is still operational?
It is.
Okay, so it's Texas Stadium has been torn down.
Yep, so you just wait until later because I have some stuff to discuss about the Cotton Bowl. But they continue to do Cotton Bowl shows every year until 1988, and next year they do 26,000 people. So in October of 1985. They do 26,000 people. Trey, can you hazard a guess how many people they do 1 year after that, in October of 1986.
6,000.
Close. 5,000.
Oh well. I don't see it divided up by year here, so I don't know what the capacity would have been in 1984. But the listed capacity on Wikipedia for the Cotton Bowl is 92,100.
I mean, they have remodeled it a few times. They've remodeled it since '84. Yeah. But I did actually look up because the '87 Cotton Bowl show is on YouTube, and so I wanted to see how 5,000 people looked in '87. And oh yeah, if you tune into '87s and come back to look at this one, there were definitely about 12,000 people in this crowd right here.
Okay.
So from here, let's go to the intro with Bill Mercer, live from the Cotton Bowl. It's a beautiful afternoon here.
Welcome to World Class Championship Wrestling, the Cotton Bowl Wrestling Star Wars, from the famed Cotton Bowl, here on the internationally famous grounds of the State Fair of Texas. It is a beautiful afternoon for Wrestling Star Wars. I'm Bill Mercer. Great to have you with us. And we have a fantastic main event. It's Kevin, Kerry, and Mike Von Erich against Gino Hernandez, Jake the Snake Roberts, and gentleman Chris Adams, the six-man World Tag Championship. That's our main event. A lot more great bouts. Right now, though, let's go to the ring. And singing of God Bless America by Ralph Pulley.
Okay. So this is a weirdly edited show, and it gets weirder next week, as we go through this show. Like I actually already watched next week's show. Don't ask. I was just really bored, I guess. But I watched next week's show, and it's like this show, like, I mean, we know it's taped or it's airing out of order, obviously, but it's like they really could have edited this together better to be more fluent. But yeah, either way. But I will. Mm-hmm.
I'm sorry. Finish what you were saying.
I will always love shows like things like this, or things like Mid-South being in the Irish Boys Club all the time. I love when these shows go on the road, so you see something else. And here we are in the fucking Cotton Bowl, and it's like outdoor. It's a beautiful day. It's a good day for some wrestling.
Do you know what they could have done better in the editing?
You broke up a little bit. What was that?
Do you know what they could have done better in the editing?
What's that?
They could have edited out Ralph Pulley.
Ralph Pulley is the only announcer they can afford, or the only singer they can afford, because he gets brought in all the time.
Arya, we get a lot of Chip Kessler on Smoky Mountain this week, and I'm very sad about it.
Is he going to be singing on the show?
No, maybe that would be better. Maybe Chip Kessler is a better singer.
Maybe he's the voice of an angel. We don't know. You're not going to go there, huh?
No.
So here's the funny thing. God Bless America. I think everybody knows that fucking song. God bless America, land that I love. However, here's the thing you may not know, and I didn't know until this episode. There is a part before that. And here's the thing. Not only did I not know this, I don't know if Trae knew it, but nobody in the crowd knew it either, because when Ralph Pulley is singing the intro to the song, they're sitting there barely paying attention, and the second he sings God Bless America, everybody stands up. Everybody stands up for God Bless America once they knew what the fuck he was singing.
Okay, I did even worse than you, because I was confused, because I guess my brain just auto-filled whatever it wanted to, and I thought they said he was going to sing America the Beautiful, and I was really confused at that not being America the Beautiful. And then so I went back, and they said he was going to sing God Bless America, So I don't know what the fuck happened to me. I'm
You
I'm
heard what you wanted
stupid.
to hear. You know?
No, because I heard Ralph Pulley sing, and that's not what I wanted to hear at all.
Now, I have a major pet peeve, and they do this a lot in wrestling, especially. Ralph Pulley called this the first annual Cotton Bowl Extravaganza. Now, as we just noted, they do 5 of these. So they obviously do 5 Cotton Bowl Extravaganzas. However, in October of 1984, they don't know they're going to do 5. They know for a fact they did 1. And it really grinds my gears when people call something a first annual. It's like, wait till next year, then you can retroactively call it the first annual when you're going to do a second one.
If for some reason you and I ever lose our minds and do a deep dive on early 2009 WWE, you will hear me lose my fucking mind about the 25th anniversary of WrestleMania.
Oh, yeah. That. And the sad thing is, and thankfully they didn't beat this as much of a drum, but they did the same thing for Survivor Series, Royal Rumble, and SummerSlam. They called the 25th version of those the 25th anniversary. Like I said, it wasn't as jammed down your throat, but it was in some of the promotional material.
I'm just gonna have to believe that was a Vinceism because, that's the only way I can accept something that stupid.
And the sad thing is, a while ago I was watching the pre-show for WrestleMania 11, and Todd Pettensmell correctly called that the 10th anniversary of WrestleMania.
He probably got heavily chastised for that.
There's a reason why they stopped doing that. Why poor Todd Pettengill only lasted 2 more years at that point. They tried to bring in Stephanie Wiand to replace him. And she was easy on the eyes, but that's about it. If you're listening, Stephanie Wiand, I'm sure you're a lovely person. You just weren't very good at announcing wrestling. And I don't think she would complain about that.
Now she's not going to listen anymore. We're going to have to find another listener.
Well, maybe we'll be lucky and she retweets us or something.
Maybe.
I don't even know if she has Twitter, but So we get Max doing double duty as Max with General Skandor Akbar takes on, in the red coat, George Weingroff. And they showed a close-up of George Weingroff, as World Class is wont to do. And Weingroff was staring down Max and some pretty girl in the front row. At this point, Max won with a diving headbutt to the back of the head. And during the match, we found out that the Fantastics, a nice young team, have won the American Tag Team titles from Chauncey and Scott Hall Irwin.
Did they say that during this match? I didn't get that until the next match.
They did note that during this match.
Oh.
Yeah. You really weren't paying attention the first 10 minutes of the
show. It wasn't. It's World Class. Who the fuck can pay attention to World Class?
I liked this episode. Even though we didn't have a retro match and we didn't have Weingroff. We had a Weingroff match. We didn't have a pedophile match to fast forward to. I actually enjoyed this 45-minute wrestling show. And I know this sounds weird. Now, we talked about how you could see the bleachers when they turned the camera in the opposite direction, and you could see the parts of the stadium with no one in it. I liked that. It feels more real. It feels more authentic than when you pretend that one side of an arena or stadium doesn't exist because there's nobody in it.
Yeah.
But that could just be one of my own pet peeves. Maybe we could throw up a picture of that on Twitter and make fun of World Class for only selling 12,000 people to a stadium. So
there you go.
We get our next match, which is the American Tag Team Champions, the Fantastics, versus Kelly Kiniski and El Diablo. Notice they never put a microphone near Kelly since that debut promo of his.
Not even after he cut all his hair off.
Yeah, nope. Also, we find out here that Sunshine is on her way back.
Yay.
So that should make things interesting, I think.
Yeah.
So I started writing, they got the heat on Fulton, but Fulton immediately scurried away and tagged out to Rogers, who got cut off for the real heat. Now, during the heat, and maybe this is why I enjoyed the show, because I was able to distract myself, I looked up to see if the Cotton Bowl was still a thing, and it is, and it has a 4.3 rating on Google. So I decided, being me, to look up what the negative reviews are of a stadium. Because what can you say about a stadium to give it 1 star? Well, one person. Now, Trey, we've discussed the sunshine was beating down in the stadium, so that would imply that it's an outdoor stadium. And here in October, we had a little bit of a breeze, but, I imagine it was still quite warm. You live in Houston. In October, how warm was it? Give or take.
It was still pretty warm.
Okay. So one person gave a negative review for the Cotton Bowl because it was too hot. The outdoor stadium that you went to see a football game in September is hot. I get they could have built a roof back in 1930, but you can't blame a stadium for the weather. And then, to make it funnier as I'm going through, I found a review from 5 years ago from a concert saying it was too cold.
That's why you can't take people seriously.
Yep. Rogers pinned Diablo with the rocket launcher, in case you care. And did you notice the burlap sack in the corner of the ring?
I don't think so.
There were 2 burlap sacks in the corners where they would stand to get a tag, that are there for the entire show, and they're there next week too. And there seems to be no real reason for these burlap sacks to be there.
Maybe they were the tag sacks.
There you go, I guess. By the way, next week we're going to be mixed tag team match. Mike Von Erich and Stella Mae French versus Gino Hernandez and Nicola Roberts, aka Andrea the Lady Giant. I like that, they keep calling her Nicola Roberts, and it's also known as Andrea the Lady Giant. You get the feeling like they don't like that name, but for some reason they're kind of stuck with it. And it's we'd rather just call you Nicola Roberts.
Why are they stuck with it?
I don't know, but it's why do they keep calling her Nicola Roberts? Also known as Andrea the Lady Giant. It just feels like they don't like the name, so then don't use it.
You could call her the Missing Pink.
As long as we don't call Stella Mae French the Missing Stink.
Stink your ronk.
Stink your ronk. So yeah, we're gonna see this, especially next week. There's a lot of people doing double duty on this show, and it goes back to the fact that where we said this, World Class only has a dozen or so people, working full time for the territory. I mean, it's more than a dozen, but it's still not a whole lot. So you can't have a 6-man tag team title match, at least one tag team match, and still want to do a full card when you only have, 12 to 20 people on your roster. Now, I'll be honest. They showed us a video for the State Fair of Texas, and I wanted to make fun of this so bad, but I watch this and it's Iceman Parsons and David Manning Von Erich are just hanging out at the fair, and I'm I want to see them in a buddy sitcom so bad. Iceman Parsons and David Manning Von Erich.
This was very charming. I did laugh at the Fantastics playing, throwing darts at balloons in their little tuxedos.
And it's the Fantastics are new to the territory, and I know it's their gimmick that they wear tuxedos and whatnot, but it's that they were doing that to get attention, because it's okay, they're kind of on the small side, they're new to the territory, and you may not know who they are if you just saw them in a t-shirt and jeans. But if you saw 2 guys walking down during the state fair in a tuxedo, you're I don't know who they are, but they're somebody. And
yeah,
they look like dorks, but it's they got attention, and that's what they were there to do.
Sorry, I was
Iceman and David Iceman and David Manning were playing the games, and they got stuffed animals, and it was like the only time I've ever liked David Manning on this show.
Seemed like they had a good time.
Yeah. Plus, it really shows you, is Iceman really friends with a pedophile? He may be forced to team with him repeatedly, but Iceman didn't spend his time walking around the state fair with Dickhead. He went around with David Manning.
Yeah, that's good. I'm sorry. I opened Facebook and there's I guess it's an image from Raw. It's like Triple H looking toward the hard camera, and then behind him was the big sign that says Triple H sucks. That made me laugh.
Is this like today Raw, or is this like an old?
I think so. Today's Monday, isn't it? I assume so.
I mean, I don't know. Do you remember when Blade Braxton went to Raw and held up a sign that said Triple H for Jobber of the Week?
No.
Oh Lord. Yeah. Okay, here's a weird one. Netflix edition of WWE 2K25 now available for pre-order. How is there a Netflix edition of a video game?
That you have to have a Netflix subscription to play it. That's all I know. I saw that headline and I didn't look any further into it.
That is stupid. Have you seen all the thoughts about Nixon Newell and Miranda Alize?
Not exactly. Kinda. I don't know. They were at an AEW taping and they got mad and I don't know.
So apparently, what happened was they were on Collision last week, and cover your ears, Trey, but they did a job to Tekla and Marina Shafir. And it's important to remember they're coming in and losing matches to people in the women's tag team title tournament. So it's like their job is not there to go look strong. Their job is there to make other people look strong. And they did such a good job of doing a JOB to those two. They were brought back this week to lose to Anna Jay and Ty Mello. And there's some conjecture on what the quote unquote real reason was. And it was originally reported that they didn't want to be looked like jobbers, and they felt that by losing 2 weeks in a row they might be, and that also that they were only scheduled to go 3 minutes. And like, well, even if we got more offense in, people will think we're jobbers because the match only went 3 minutes. And it's like, I'm sorry, it's like it's not your. I say this a lot with AEW, and I think this could be the issue too. It's like it's not your turn to go over and to have a great match. Some people really do just have to come in and lose. And there'll be a day for Nixon Newell and Miranda Alize to go over strong, but now is not that day. They're not in the women's tag team title tournament, spoiler alert. And so, yeah, they're a team that was going to come in and, do a few jobs. And if they do their job well, and I bet they would have, they probably would have been used a lot more moving forward. But instead, they've chosen to, by all accounts, burn a bridge. And I don't believe that they were signed. I believe they were just coming in for a few, I don't want to say tryouts, but a few, jobs, and see what their heads were, how they did in the ring, etc. And they shot themselves in the foot.
Okay, now I know both of those names, but like, are either of them anybody who have any reason to think they're too good to do TV jobs?
Nixon Newell was Tegan Knox in WWE.
Okay. So she was in developmental.
Yeah. Miranda Alize is one of those people that it's like, you see her name pop up a lot on indie shows.
I think she was in Ring of Honor, like when Ring of Honor was the tail end of Ring of Honor still being a Ring of Honor.
Yeah, I think she was. In fact, I'm almost positive she was in the women's title tournament. But yeah, it's like, I mean, they piss off. Well, I can't say they pissed off WWE, but Tegan Knox got fired from WWE. Her and Miranda Alize have now pissed off AEW. I mean, I guess they could try TNA next, but I don't know how much TNA is going to want a couple of people who are going to come in and cause all this shit. Because it's not like they're big enough names. It's not like they're going to bring in a Tessa Blanchard, where Tessa Blanchard at least has a name and where might deal with all of her baggage. Like Tegan Knox and Miranda Alize, I'm sorry, they don't. And so you can only piss off so many promoters in wrestling. There's only so many places to work, and especially nowadays where basically every company in the fucking world is behind either WWE or AEW. You don't want to piss off one of the sides because you're going to piss yourself off of a lot of bookings potentially.
Look, AEW, we're on year 6 now. We've just completed 6 years now, I think.
Yeah.
You know how this works. You've seen it enough times. This is not a thing where you're slotted in a spot forever. How many people who are figured in and have good spots now came in just getting beat until they had earned their spot and it was their time to do something?
Harley Cameron. Oh my God. She was a geek on QTV with QT Marshall, doing nothing. And Willow seemed to lose every week, no matter how likable and lovable she was. And now she's got a good spot. Julia Hart was a cheerleader for the fucking Varsity Blondes.
Well, fucking Cal Fletcher was in an underneath heel tag team.
Guy Blue, her gimmick for years was she wore a hat.
And look, she wore that hat really well.
She did a really good job of wearing the hat. Too bad the brim didn't protect her from getting spewed in the face.
Look, different companies have different booking rhythms, and we've seen. And you can criticize AEW's booking, you can criticize anybody's booking. But we have seen that, you don't come in and just go straight to the top if you are not, established top talent from a major company. If you're just fucking Joe and Jane Blow, who had, some top indie matches and a little bit of a run in developmental, they have too much fucking talent now, even in that women's division, where they were weak for a long time. They are really strong there now. You're not just going to come in and jump into a top spot. If you want a spot, either go somewhere else and prove that you deserve it, or stay there and prove that you deserve it. But whining about not getting what you think you deserve is not going to get you anything anywhere.
And you can argue about how high up the card Anna Jay and Ty Mello are. Again, they're in the tournament and you're not. So even if you're the 9th best team in AEW, you're still number 9. So,
they have been there a long time. They've got tenure is a thing in this business to some degree.
Yeah. I mean, they were, not they, but Anna was part of the original run of the Dark Order.
Yeah.
Yeah. So in case you want to know how long she's been there, and Ty, she's been, I don't say in and out, but I will say she's been in and out a bit. But she was a decent part of the show for a few years now.
Yeah, man. Anna Jay, she started when the fucking pandemic hit and they didn't know what was going on, so they had to tape 6 weeks of TV in QT's fucking wrestling school.
Yep. I think about all the people who got jobs by coming in and doing a job to Cody for the TNT title.
Yeah. I love that Eddie Kingston segment so much.
Oh yeah. And part of it was it was so true too, because he had sold his gear and whatnot, and he had to go get gear to go wrestle that match with Cody.
It's tremendous.
And he ended up with a main event, world title match on pay-per-view, of the opportunity he got out of it. And I'm not saying Miranda Alize and Nixon Newell were going to be main eventing World's End for the women's tag team titles. But hey, you never know. You get your foot in the door and go from there. Anyway, Kerry, Mike Von Erich, and Bobby Fulton versus Gino Hernandez, Jake the Snake Roberts, and Chris Adams with Gary Hart and Andrea the Lady Giant. And Bill Mercer with the greatest tongue-in-cheek compliment of all time. From what I hear, one of the greatest DJs in the country, Rich Bryant. Or maybe it wasn't Mercer, it was whoever the ring announcer was. But yeah.
Ralph Pulley not a fan of Rich Bryant.
I mean, he may be a fan if he knew who he was. Now, they do a poor job of explaining this here. And this is why I say the show was poorly edited, because Kevin Von Erich is not in this match, and it's explained next week why Kevin Von Erich isn't in the match this week.
Well, they did say that he was injured in an earlier match with Chris Adams.
But, spoiler alert, the match with Chris Adams is next week.
I believe you. Yeah.
I
believe that completely.
And it's like, honestly, that match, because this match was about 11 minutes of TV time, beginning to end. And the match between Kevin and Chris Adams is about 11 minutes of TV time, beginning to end. Literally, outside of not wanting to overdo the main events for next week, which really they wouldn't have, but that's just me, there's no reason why they couldn't have flip-flopped these two matches.
What are you going to do? People know that these shows are like one card cut up across two shows.
They do, but at least it could make better sense when you're watching.
I know.
So it makes more sense next week, but Chris Adams was quite a fucking heel here. Because Adams was getting booed out of the stadium here. And
we're
the funny
angry.
thing was, I didn't even notice Bobby Fulton at first, because when the ring announcer said that Kevin has been replaced at the request of the family, the camera was focusing on David Manning. Don't fucking tell me it's really going to be David Manning Von Erich.
See, I noticed Bobby Fulton immediately because he was there in his little fucking Fantastics vest.
What I thought also was funny was Kerry was in blue tights and blue gear. Bobby Fulton was in blue tights and blue gear. Mike Von Erich wearing red. What the hell, dude?
Nobody told him.
Yeah. Somebody in the third row, probably named Jamie, had a sign saying that Jamie loves the Von Erichs. I wrote, at least she spelled the words right. And I assume she spelled Jamie right. She spelled it Jayme, so I'm assuming she spelled her own name right. But, who knows? Okay. So Kerry wanted Chris to start the match if he had any guts. So instead, Gino started. The fans began chanting, "Chris is a traitor." And thankfully, Mercer figured it out, because for some reason, what I heard was the fans chanting Christian Slater. Now, I did look it up, and Christian Slater had been acting for 3 or 4 years at this point, so it wasn't quite as out of nowhere, but his career had not yet taken off. He had not had his big break yet. Now, I liked this match. This match built really well. Everyone wanted to see Adams get his ass kicked, and specifically, they wanted Kerry to kick his ass. So every time Kerry would get in the ring, Chris, being a dipshit, arrogant, cowardly heel, would scurry out of the ring. Because even at the finish, I would normally say a 6-way broke out, but a 6-way did not break out. A 5-way broke out, because Chris Adams was hiding outside the ring. The finish saw Kerry go to suplex Jake, but Adams slid in and took Kerry's head off with a super kick, and Jake got the pin to not just win the match, but win the titles. And to be honest, I thought we'd get a bullshit finish here where either A, Fulton would be pinned, or B, the belts wouldn't be on the line because Kevin wasn't in the match. But alas, Gino is a triple champion.
I think they bought belts just so they could give all the belts to Gino. Because, yes, there were 6-man belts now.
They did mention that back in like August when they were building up to the Freebirds match, the last Freebirds match, that they had belts now, but we've never seen them on TV.
Yeah, I wonder when we'll see them again. For some reason, I knew this match must have been on a DVD at some point because I feel like I'd seen this before.
I'll be honest, like a lot of those WWE DVDs that came out, I would watch the documentary and not usually watch the matches for some reason. I don't know why. Just the matches never really were interesting to me.
Oh, they were to me because that was back that was before every match was instantly available online.
Yeah. So I mean, it is probably on the WWE Triumph and Tragedy of World Class DVD.
Yeah. It could be on the Jake DVD, which I know I had.
Yeah, Pick Your Poison, the best of Jake the Snake Roberts. The one where he says that he would never hold people up for money, even though Dave was having an aneurysm, thinking about how you would hold up AAA for money all the time. Apparently, that World Class DVD has a 2 out of 3 falls match from 1952 between Duke Kiyomuka and Ricky Starr.
Oh.
They have a lot of the first Parade of Champions matches. At least according to WrestlingDVDNetwork.com, this match was not on there, so it might be on the Pick Your Poison DVD.
Who knows? Maybe I don't know.
1 second. You bet your ass I want to find this out here. Let's see here. Full listing for WWE Jake Roberts Pick Your Poison DVD. Let's see. Apparently not either. I believe you. I believe.
No, don't believe me. I'm pretty dumb.
You are not dumb. You have smarticle particles. And so let's go to a victory celebration in the heel locker room, which is going to be funny for one really weird reason.
Well, we're in the dressing room of the new 6-man World Tag Team Champions, Jake the Snake Roberts and Gary Hart, Chris Adams, and quite an enthusiastic group. The Cotton Bowl. All right. Let's bring Chris Adams in. I'm not going to try to diminish your victory, but I just want to ask you, well, please, with 2 attacks of the Von Erichs.
We got a party to go to.
You were not legal in either event.
What do you mean I wasn't legal? I was legal. Hey, listen. I did what I said I did. I got the gold. This is my first gold. Really... My next gold is around Ricky Flair's race right now, but it soon won't be.
And for everyone that thinks that Chris Adams made a mistake and that Chris Adams is a traitor, he ain't no Benedict Arnold. He's the part of the 6-man World Tag Team Championship.
You do all that today?
No suggestions for me. He's so smart, I don't have to tell him.
You're the
captain. Said all along, Jake the Snake right here, Chris Adams and myself would show the Von Erichs that they were nothing. Look at Kevin Von Erich now. Look at Kevin Von Erich now. Look where the World 6-man Tag Team belts are. All the gold. Jake the Snake, they call him crazy. He had nothing but a winner. Chris Adams didn't make no mistake. He's a winner. We're all winners. We are the champions. We are your champions. Whether you like it or not, the Von Erichs can kiss it goodbye. Von Erichs, you are not at the top of the hill no more. You at the bottom of the ladder now. We are the champions. And who? The Von Erichs. Who are the Von Erichs? Kevin who? Kerry who? Mike who? They're nothing. They're nothing. We're the champions. They are nothing no more. We got to party. We got to get out of here. Glad you stopped by.
Go to the party.
That's it.
You usually have something.
We got 4 men
to say.
and 1 great lady.
I don't know. That much to say. Well,
we are your champions.
Jake was really attracted to Nicola. He was all over her.
Something about men in that family being genetically predisposed and being attracted to Nicola Roberts.
There you go. He may have been saving her though he may have been fence building for his brother.
Breaking news, by the way, John Cena, the new Intercontinental Champion, which he had never done before, Except in my like WWE SmackDown versus Raw game when he was the Intercontinental Champion for like 2 years.
Now, I was actually a little surprised. Like, I knew they were doing Cena versus Dirty Dom, but I'm a little surprised he actually won he won the strap. He won the 10 pounds of gold.
Most unfortunately, the AAA Mega Campeonato was not on the line apparently.
Oh, damn. Damn. Well, speaking of confusing things, why the hell did Jake have a bottle of, or a can of red spray paint?
For his hair.
He was spraying that fucking thing all over the place. Like, I was like, I'm like, why is there like little spits of red all over the place? And I was like, then I see Jake spraying people. Whether like Gary Hart, his bald spot was filled in with red spray paint, which I bet Gary just loved. No, reading Gary's book, how he can kick everybody's ass. I bet he loved having his head spray painted like that. Maybe Jake gave Scott Hall the idea for spraying Goldberg's head.
That's yeah, it's pretty good.
Well, we officially have a triple champion. Do you think Gino's 3 belts put together are as big as Ernie Ladd's 1 belt?
No, I don't think so.
So we need to have a 3-way match now with Gino Hernandez, Lance Storm, and Chris Candido over who the real triple champion is.
And then the winner can have 9 belts and be Ultimo Dragon. Or wait, he had 10? He got to 10, didn't he?
He was the J Crown champion, which was 8 belts, and then he won the Cruiserweight title, which was number 9.
And then there was another NWA belt from Mexico that wasn't part of the J Crown, I think.
Okay.
And then how many is Money Lady up to now? Like 12, 13? I don't know.
I think like 14. And I know she just retained one of her championships over the weekend. So all my whining about how she never goes back and defends the titles apparently is for naught.
I want her to just keep going until she has like 50 of them, just because it pisses off the most annoying people.
Yep. So let's see. Anything going on here? Apparently El Paso, Texas on November 18th is going to be having an Eddie Guerrero Day.
Oh.
Yeah. Let's see here. Bob Orton Jr. turned 75. Josh Barnett turned 48. Paul Burchell's sister/girlfriend turned 45. The Ryback turned 44 today. And Peyton Royce, a.k.a. Cassie Lee, turned 33.
Oh, she's young.
I had a good deal of a crush on young Peyton Royce.
It confuses me when people are younger than me. Like, that's not supposed to be a thing. Like, adults aren't supposed to be younger than me. I'm supposed to be the youngest adult.
When whatchamacallit, LeBron James was the first professional athlete to like really come out who was younger than me, and I was like, that's just no.
The one that's been fucking me up for years is that Kazuchika Okada is like 3 months younger than me.
And he's a rainmaker, and
he's much better at his life than I am at mine.
I mean, not everyone can be the rainmaker. You know?
I wish I could be something.
You are the best co-host this show has ever seen.
Thank you.
I'm not seeing Cena with the title. I'm seeing a lot. Oh, there we go. There's Cena with the title. I'm seeing a lot of Logan Paul and The Vision, along with Cody Rhodes, CM Punk, and Jey Uso.
Okay, I can't hear The Vision without thinking of like The Vision from Marvel. Like, that's The Vision to me.
Well, it was Seth Rollins' group, but now it's just Bronson Reed and Braun Breaker. And I'm assuming Becky Lynch no longer cares now that her husband's gotten beaten up and kicked out of the group because she's
the Braun and Braun connection.
Yes. However, next week in Madison Square Garden on Raw, Becky Lynch will defend the Women's Intercontinental Championship that I bet most people forgot she had against Maxine Dupree.
Oh, Maxine Dupree is still a thing?
Apparently, yes.
Good for her.
Yes. Remember when she was really bad on house shows and people pointed out that she was really bad on house shows and other people got really upset that that was pointed out?
That conversation gets so stupid in so many ways.
Like, I'm sorry, I'm sure she's a very nice person, but like, she was not very good in the ring. I don't know how she is now, because again, I don't really watch WWE anymore. But yeah. By the way, Handsome Rusev advanced in the John Cena tournament.
Cool.
Yes. I'm not expecting Handsome Rusev to go all the way, though.
Is it a tournament of John Cena's or a tournament to determine John Cena?
It's the tournament to determine John Cena's last opponent.
So it's a tournament for John Cena, where the prize is John Cena.
Yes. It is the John Cena Invitational. Did you see who Tana's last opponent's going to be?
Yeah, I did.
You did?
I did.
Are you excited?
I don't know. I guess it's good enough, whatever.
Wow. That was you are not that thrilled by this.
I think it's because like I've been a New Japan fan longer than most people. Like I wanted something from like earlier Tanahashi, but I don't know. It wasn't gonna happen.
I can see that. I think like apparently they talked to Naito about it briefly, and the word is that Nakamura wanted to do it, but there's no word on if they ever reached out to him. But I don't know. I think to try to get back the fans that left after AEW started after the pandemic, I think Okada's the right person. Although I don't know if it's really going to inspire anybody to watch the show who wasn't going to watch the show already.
Exactly. I don't think it's going to make anybody watch Wrestle Kingdom that wasn't going to anyway. And it's also like okay, this is a one and done for Okada.
Yes. Now the question, and I guess Tanahashi has a habit of doing this. Do you make this the main event?
No.
I mean, I get the argument. You'd rather put, the title match in the main event. And I'm not saying Takeshita and what's his name would have a bad match by any stretch of the imagination. But I think, like, especially if this is the semi-main, it's like that's going to be a very big, very emotional match, even if it's not a 6-star classic. It's going to be a big fucking deal. And then you're going to follow it with, another match. It's like, I don't know. I guess they could hold off the official celebration of his retirement until New Year's Dash the next day, but I still think it's going to be hard to follow. Like, even if the match is 1.25 stars, it's going to be a hard match to follow.
Yeah, whatever. They'll do it. It'll be fine.
Okay. All right, so I think Trey is starting to come down a little bit here, and I'm running out of stuff to talk about. So now's a good time to call it a day. We'll be back tomorrow. Cindy will be back tomorrow with TNA. Trey and I'll be back Thursday with Smoky Mountain. This is also the week where I got to do ECW on TNN, which I have already watched. I've watched everything I need to watch this week except for Smoky Mountain. So I got to do that here. But that's going to do it for this week. Hope you all enjoyed the show. We'll talk to you again in 7 days.
Bye.